Well, folks, the first Republican debate is going to happen in a few weeks and broadcast on Fox. Now, I got to tell you, I am not optimistic that it's going to be a good and helpful forum for GOP voters to pick their presidential candidate for 2024. Having been through that process twice, in 2008 and 2016, I personally think that the so-called presidential debates, as they're conducted, is absolutely horrible. I mean, it's not about the candidates. It's not about the Republican voters or the issues that people care about most. No, it's a TV show, staged to give the network ample time for its anchors to focus on themselves at the expense of the candidates who are reduced to participating in what amounts to a game show pretending to be a presidential debate. I actually went to Chicago at a meeting of the Republican National Committee earlier this year, and I appeared before the Committee on Debates, and I urged them to change the way these spectacles are staged. Because I fear that for the most part, there was polite listening, but there was very little taking to heart the suggestions to make this whole process a legitimate means for Republican voters to choose their nominee. In the first place, the debates and the entire primary should belong to the party, not to a TV network. I'm telling you, every network, I don't care who it is, they care about ratings because that drives revenue. So it's generally all about the dollars. Now, the network will stage the debate for the benefit of their ratings, not to genuinely inform the voters. The networks determine which candidates make the stage and where they stand. TV executives choose the people who are asking the questions, and TV people choose the questions. Most of the time, those questions aren't what you care about. It's what the TV people think will be most controversial, or maybe will create a mud fight among the candidates. And when a TV anchor takes 2 minutes to ask a question, and then they say to the person who actually has the guts to run, okay, you have 30 seconds to answer, then you should know it's about making the TV person look smart, not about making the candidate or where he or she stands on an issue clear for the voter and the viewer. The allocation of time during the debate for the various candidates is often determined by who will attack the other candidates and create some kind of sideshow. Some candidates will end up with 20 minutes of airtime, while one who doesn't attack his fellow candidates will be lucky to end up with 90 seconds of total time. I mean, nobody can advance to the nomination or the presidency if the candidate gets minimal media access and is ignored in favor of more bombastic candidates. My suggestions, they're simple. Here they are. Don't have a so-called moderator. Don't have one. Let the candidates draw for positions and give each one of them who qualify for the debate exactly the same amount of time. A candidate can use his or her time any way they desire, but when their clock has no more time, their microphone is cut off and they're done. A candidate who attacks another loses 30 seconds of his or her time, and then that 30 seconds is added to the person who was attacked so they can respond. Candidates would pick their own topics to discuss. After all, shouldn't voters find out what the candidates care about instead of finding out what the prima donnas of TV care about? I mean, to give every candidate a fair shot, stage placement and order of speaking would be determined by drawing for positions. Now, these are just some of the suggestions that I truly feel would make the process more fair, more informative, and frankly, more helpful to the actual voters. Because the debates are about the people who are running and the plans they have if elected president. Instead, we get egocentric TV personalities asking childish questions and insulting candidates with topics that are designed to call attention to meaningless minutia, and sometimes resorting to asking for a show of hands as if the TV anchor is some third-grade teacher. Here's what I think. Voters should demand a change in the process. And if a TV personality wants to make a presidential debate about himself or herself, then he or she can simply run for office themselves. It would certainly change the way they feel about what it takes to actually run for office. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I hope you will now. The button is just below this video. and there's a little bell next to it. If you click on those, YouTube will reluctantly start letting you know when we've got a new video uploaded.